Guys and gals, coming back to you, and we got another episode because I made a mistake while putting on the tires and wheels that the brakes were like Gandhi on. Yep. Ron Burgundy. Step one, take off the tire. We're already there. But what I really want to show you guys is this. You can order this off of the Amazonian site and probably eBay too. But Detroit axle, man, just look at them. Cross-drilled ceramic pads, and it comes with brake fluid and brake clean. Now, you shouldn't need brake fluid. If you do, you probably have other issues, but nonetheless, these things are worn down pretty darn good. And since these are more than likely factory originals, we're gonna go ahead and replace on them. And you know, those look more gooder, especially since you can see inside the wheel now. But we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I'll just walk you all through this on one side and then just repeat the steps for the second. Yeah. So step one, take off the wheel, and let me get some tools. We'll come right back at it. I'll tell you what you need. All right, guys and gals, for this, it looks like we're going to need a 13mm wrench, socket, whatever you got, along with a 13/16, and I'm grabbing a 7/8 as well for a cheater to help me, you know, pull. So, and a screwdriver, I'm sorry. So, screwdriver and or a pair of pliers. These are body pliers, but I'll show you a little trick if need be. Now, first thing you do is take this. You never want to push on that piston, not directly. So you're going to use the brake pad. You wedge this in there just right, and you'll push. See how he's in there now? And all we're doing is pushing right back. Now that we got some slop in there, see how the caliper slid back? Now we should be able to use this pad to push it pretty much the rest of the way. Now, if it doesn't go the rest of the way, then you take this guy once the caliper's off and push him in, okay? Now for this, what's more than likely going to happen, I just thought about it, is this is going to spin as well. I think that might be the next size up, but man, tight as the dickens. Dang it. Everything that those mechanics did seems to be like over torculated. You know what I mean? And that's okay. That's okay. So we're gonna go get either a cheater wrench or a, there we go. Okay. Maybe I just gotta put my purse down. Let me put my purse down and I'll torculate on this guy. I'm gonna stand up. Look. Just stand up. A lot of ooga-doogats on that one. But see how that's spinning? That's not a big deal. It's just a pain in the butt. You can take your wrench. My favorite on those, it's a little narrow. So what I try to do is get a set of needle nose vice grips. All you need to do is just barely hold it. You don't tighten it all the way down. You can actually probably just go, where did the wrench go? Why would you take it off? Gosh. You see how that's turning? All you got to do is just hold it enough. Dang it. If you guys can see it, it's a miracle. Okay, right there. I'm holding it in my armpit. Hope it don't smell. That's a joke. Some of you fellers and fellas take it a little serious. I can't smell it, it's on TV. See, I didn't even have it tightened down. Then you can hold it like that with your fingers. Twist it the rest of the way out. Now, we have to take off this bracket, which is why we got the 13/16. They're a big old bolt right there. And this darn thing decided it wanted to spin too. Why? Thought we was friends. I thought we was friends. Okay, we are. And see, I held that guy with my thumb. Because we're friends like that, I think. Are we friends? Okay, we're friends. Another thing, don't hang this thing by the, don't hang your caliper by the daggone cord, the hose. That's a good way to spend extra money if you don't have to. These should come out free. This is a real good time. Check these slides. Those are well greased. I'm not even gonna mess with them. For real, for real. But if yours ain't moving that free, take them out, grease the heck out of them. Now for these, you can just, see you later, friend. A lot of times these slides will lock up and it'll cause an uneven wear and make it look like you got more stuff bad than what you do. So we're gonna put our brake pad in there. See that? And what we're gonna do is adjust this to fit around all of that and squeeze it the rest of the way back. All right? Give me a second. Let me see. Can you see that? Can you just wash it right there? I don't know if this thing set. Does it set up? Oh, dang, it does. Hot diggity. All right. So hopefully you guys can see me. If you can't, I don't have the camera aimed right. Like that. Okay. Do not pinch on your brake lines. That might not be a good night either. But put your caliper like so. Try to push directly in the center of the piston. Okay? So put your brake pad in there. Then you just squeeze it back. Little by little, it'll go back in there. Okay? If it doesn't, then you're going to need a caliper or a hose. So it's definitely going to be one of the two critters. But adjust a little by little. You just squeeze the heck out of it. Get in there. And it will go back in there. It's going in slowly. But you see, that's how you rig him up. Push it back in. And then you'll be able to throw your pads in there, your new road deer. And then you can go straight to Centerville. Okay? Give me a few minutes to press this thing back. These bolts are these guys right here. 1, 2. Now, what I was telling you about the cheater wrench part. Be careful. Set them darn things on there good. Now, if you only have metric, a 13/16 and a 21 will both work as the same wrench. You know what I mean? So a 13/16 seems to fit a little bit tighter. You know, I don't know. That just seems to be the thing. At least if you got good old Icon wrench from Harbin East Freight. Really good wrenches, by the way. But these things are going to be tighter. If you can get an impact to it, go for it. I don't know if I can or not. We might try an impact just because, you know. But I'm going to take these off. This bracket and this rotor should fall right off. If it doesn't, we're going to smack him with a hammer. Then it'll fall off there. Sound good? Give me a few minutes. I'll show you what all this stuff, it's magic, okay? All right, so we got the new rotor. He's, you know, he's on there-ish. So replace these things. Replace them. They're free. They fit right there in your caliper. I put the pads on with this because you can do that. Also, if you don't want to try to hold this and balance that on, you can do this. Put your knee against it to hold it while you try to bolt this up. Hopefully this works like really just smooth as silk, and I bet it don't. But we're gonna try it. And oh, okay, yeah, it will. But just make sure you got your pads, your brake pads, to the most outer that you can get them. You tighten that bad boy down, or you can throw a lug nut also on these rotors and just snug it down, and usually that right there is good enough to hold it. So of course one of these I could reach with this. Yep, that was loud. And the other one I couldn't. So that's cool. So you just tighten them up like this. I realized that I was telling, darn wrenches. I was telling you guys about the cheater wrench. I never showed you how to do the cheater wrench, now did I? I'm sure there's people right now saying, yeah, it's real easy. This is not for you, okay? This is not for you. This is for those that don't know how to do it. That's why this is like a how-to kind of show. I'm trying to encourage folks to get hearing protection when you're doing this, or at least watching my show, and trying to learn them one, okay? So, let's say you got your wrench right here, okay? Okay, let's make it right there. Let's say you have room for another wrench. Take the box in, and that gives you double the leverage. You use that whenever you don't have breaker bars, whenever you don't have air tools, whenever you don't have the luxury of really just either torquing something down and or breaking it loose. You can just wrap it right around the end. I'll show you again here in a second. Whenever I go to, man, I tell you, this bolt, why wouldn't it just, you know. But look how good that looks now, huh? Way more gooder. Probably should have painted the caliper, but that's okay. I don't think I have caliper paint anymore. I think most of it went on this Mustang because it's a nice red. I like the red. And just make sure you slip off the wrench as much as you can. All right, now I'm going to show you. You can use it for tightening, unloosening. It's a multi-tool. So, box in, thread him in like that. Now look, you got double the leverage. And you just tighten him down. If you need to go the other way to loosen it, go on the upswing. Boom, you got double the leverage. It's really that easy, I'm not kidding you. And you got that done. Now, you see how, yeah, go ahead and push those pads in now. But you want them to the most outer, that way so it slides right over the rotor. You don't knock the pads in and out, because you're going to realize these clips, even though they're a pain in the hind end, they're also, they're anti-rattle clips. You want those clips in, I promise you. If not, you're going to have a heck of a noise driving down the road. Promise you. So now, put this guy back on. Uh-oh. Now we got an issue. The issue is that didn't push back far enough, so we're going to have to push back it a little bit more. And hopefully it does, because if it doesn't, we're going to go get a brake caliper tomorrow morning, because all the parts stores are closed right now. Dang it. Wish us luck. We're going to try to push it back, all right? Give me a few minutes. It pushed back really good, so I don't know why it stopped right there. Maybe I just didn't have the thing in the right spot. We'll get it. Not a big deal. All right, a few minutes. So in the automotive world, there's a thing called trust, and you have to trust your mechanic. I'm my own mechanic, so I trust me. Saying that to say this, the piston was a little stuck in this here caliper. I did something unconventional. The line is good. It wasn't the line, it was the piston itself. So saying that to say this, guys and gals, I had to break the bleeder loose. This guy right, the brake bleeder, it's a 11 millimeter. I broke it loose and pushed in on the caliper, on the piston, right? With the C-clamp deal, with that guy. And I cracked the bleeder. So, you know, maybe you might need that brake fluid from Detroit Axle. You know, I'm just saying, it's a thing. But we got them back together and pretty much repeat the steps for the exact same other side. The most main important thing. Now, if I couldn't have got that piston to push back in, I would have been getting a caliper. It's not a big deal. You just bleed it, you go on about your business. But there's two important things now. Now I need to check my brake fluid before I do the last step before starting and driving this thing. Pump your brake pedal. Pump your brake pedal, pump your brake pedal. Why? Because this piston is not engaged in your brakes at all. I mean, look, does that look like it's engaged? Heck no. And if you're going to do it to the other one, you essentially don't have any front brakes at all. You will not have any front brakes. I promise you this. Until you pump your brake pedal. I promise you, you go in your vehicle right now, after doing this, just this one side, you're going to feel that brake pedal hit the floor. Don't freak out. That's perfectly normal. It's supposed to. Pump it 3 times and it should be right to where it should be. Do not try to drive this sucker without pumping that brake pedal. It does not end well. You're going to freak out after you slam on your brakes, realize there's no brakes, and hopefully you pump the brakes a few more times and it stops. But if not, you're just holding that brake until you hit something. I've seen it happen. I'm just saying. Make sure you do that. That's a big deal. People don't like smacking stuff with their car after you fix their brakes. So that right there wraps up the whole brake deal. Like I say, I did press on this piston. I went directly in the center of it, which I told you not to do originally, but I figured it's either a junk caliper or it's about to be a junk caliper, and I put some pretty decent pressure on it. The reason why you're not supposed to put pressure on that piston, some of these are plastic, most of them are aluminum, and you will absolutely crack the crap out of them. You'll crack them, then they're really not worth anything. In this case, it was either going to go or it was just going to be junk, a junk core, because I was going to trade it in for a brand new one, and that was going to be that, you know. So if your caliper isn't loose like that, see that, I mean, that's loose in there, you want that. So also, sometimes if these brake pads aren't setting this so, you won't get the caliper on. So make sure, 1, you have the caliper pushed all the way back. 2, that you have your brake pads in the right spot. Torque all this stuff down accordingly. And the most important thing, pump your brakes before you start the car, before you even drive it, okay? Most important thing in the world. So that right there, I'm gonna do the other side. It's the exact same as this. And that's all there is to it, honestly. So you can save yourself a bunch of money, a bunch of headache. These on the Amazonian side, I've not got a bad part once from Detroit Axle, I don't believe. So I'm going to continue to use those, and it looks like we need shocks. Dang it, those look factory. Anyway, I'm gonna put the wheel on and stop looking around, because every time I do, I see stuff, and I don't need to see stuff. I got other projects. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys and gals. Hopefully this helps you. Got any questions, hit me up. I'll be more than glad to answer. You'll have a great weekend. We'll see you next time here on Right Turn Garage TV.